Welcome to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered. This is your boy DeAndre.
It's your boy Nick, aka Big Nick. Spice it up a little bit.
Hi guys, it's Big Mama.
The biggest and the realest.
That's me. You got 99 problems in the biggest. Y'all like that song?
What song is that? Oh, is that
Glorilla? Oh, I love her so bad.
Actually, her beats be hard, but I'm not a big fan of female rappers.
Why?
What is that about?
I think I don't know. This might sound very sexist. I'm not a fan of female rappers or more than female comedians. I think that they just got to be super extra raunchy. And I don't think that a lot of them talk about nothing.
But you know why I like Glorilla? Because she doesn't really talk about her vagina.
What is she talking about? Just men?
Yeah, and me, I'm kind of ratchet, so I'm going to beat some shit like that. She really ain't talking about her coochie like everybody else.
Most women that rap, even Cardi B, we would say Cardi B is probably the hottest female rapper right now. Her songs is filthy. She don't even let her daughter listen to them.
They're all filthy. Meg, Lotto, and Lotto didn't used to be like that. Lotto
she did. A rapper?
Huh?
Lotto is a rapper?
You said, is she a rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. She used to be on a rap game when she was younger.
I don't know who
she wasn't rapping about her vagina and sex, but she knew to blow up and to take off, she started putting that little thing in there, and look at her.
I'm just not that fan of that type of music. Honestly, I find myself listening to more old school rap, more like Jay-Z's older stuff, because it's like
MC Light.
No. I just want to hear some type of some music that got a little bit of substance. Let me think about something. I don't want to think about that guap or that what's that Cardi B song, her and Meg?
WAP.
That WAP. Yeah, I said guap.
Yeah.
WAP is money.
Gucci.
Yeah, that's Gucci. But I don't want to listen to that WAP all the time.
No, I get that. But I mean, that's what's hot.
Yeah. So I have a question to bring to the group. It's gonna be a conversation. Do you guys believe? So there is a trend of women coming up. The feminine. I mean, not feminine. Do you mind?
I'm still rapping.
I'm just kidding. There is a trend of women coming up, and we all seen them. The alpha women, the masculine women. I don't need no man. I get my own stuff. I make my own money. I don't cook. I don't clean, but I got the ring. Do y'all believe that men is at the fold of that?
No.
You think are you asking do we think they caused that?
Do you think down the rabbit hole somewhere, terrible men has caused women to have to step up to be this way?
In a sense.
So I would like to, why don't you think that? And why do you think that? Let's go, Dre, you go first.
No, ladies first. Let's hear
No,
this.
you always go last and you avoid the question, so we'll wait for you.
No, ladies first. I'm being a gentleman.
I ain't asked for all that.
I don't want to be one of those guys. Terrible men. I'm being a gentleman. See? And just like typical women.
Girl, please answer the question.
They don't want a gentleman to be a gentleman.
Typical man avoiding the question. Answer the question.
What was the question?
Look at you.
The question is, do you think that men is at fault? Do you think it's the man's fault that this rise and this trend of the alpha woman, the masculine woman, because men might have slipped up or messed up? And it might not be to them, maybe to the generation before. And maybe a bad man was to the mother and she might have raised a woman up like this, like don't trust no man, get it for yourself because men ain't this. Or like movies like Waiting to Exhale where, you're a stay-at-home wife. Hey, don't be a stay-at-home wife because he can cheat and leave you. You ain't got nothing. Do we think that that's a woman trait? Like they just, or did we influence them to begin to be like this?
I'm going to go ahead and say all the above. I'll have to say if we were closer to like the end of the 90s going to the 2000s, you can easily say yes, it was men because of what young girls grew up seeing. And but once you introduce social media, once you got movies and songs and all that stuff kind of like preaching a lot of this stuff, then they think that's the way to go versus, I don't want to say the whole cliche of the whole stay-at-home mom and the woman roles. I don't really believe in roles at all, but like it's more of the I can do it all on my own. I don't need no man. So because I don't need no man, now I'm going to have a negative connotation about men. And sometimes if you talk to some women, they don't even have a reason. as to why they are the way they are. They just they again, once something's introduced to somebody's subconscious, okay, you're hearing it on the radio, you're going on social media, and you're gonna watch it on social media, and then let's just say a friend, family member, let alone if you happen to see it in your own household, you see something. What word am I looking for? Clashing of heads between mom and dad, or mom's boyfriend. Then you begin to think like, I don't want no man, I don't need no man, I'm gonna just do it all on my own.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mixture of all the above versus just, I don't think there's just one clear cut reason as to why that is. I think it's a mixture. In some cases there's a mixture, in other cases I guess you can go to each category and say that's what it is. But you do also have a lot of women nowadays who are raised by a woman who pretty much taught their daughter, don't depend on no man, don't ask a man for nothing, don't need a man for nothing, just independent, and that's all you got, and stay that way. And
I agree with that part the most.
Then you end up with cat ladies.
With who?
Cat ladies.
Oh, ladies with a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
Cat.
You get the whole people, because at an early age you hear people praising the whole, oh, I'm gonna be the cool auntie, where it sounds funny. Yeah, some say rich, some say cool, but you gonna be rich, lonely, and I don't care what nobody say when they be sitting there. Oh, but I'm gonna be happy. Are you really though? Being a cool or rich auntie with no family, no nothing, and just calling yourself, I'll use a man just for dick, and he can go about his way. Yeah, but how many men you go run through doing that?
Yeah, statistics show the more bodies you get, the less likely that you'll be good quality for marriage, because that marriage is highly, like, statistics shows that anybody past, maybe a woman past five bodies have like a 30% chance of that marriage, lasting.
Do people care about bodies anymore?
Yes.
Yes, they don't say it much. I believe that this generation is like more accepting of a lot of things. But when you come down to the meat of it, when these people reach a certain age and they talking about settling down, they ain't going for the more experienced woman. We'll call her more experienced. They're not going for her, the one who is a hoe, or if they find out like, yeah, she'd been around the block, and you can call it a double standard. Most people will call it a double standard, because if a guy has a lot of bodies, it's different. And he can definitely easily find a wife. And we just go, maybe a double standard, but that's just how it is. It's just one of those things, just like naturally, this is how it is. You take a woman that's in the same shoes as that man that's been around the block quite a few times, it's going to be harder for her.
What's a lot of bodies to you?
At what age?
28.
Double digits.
I don't know, yeah.
You double digits?
I say double digits. At 28,
Yeah.
double digits.
What if she started doing it when she was like 12?
It's even worse.
There's hella people out here that started doing it that early.
I know. One of them.
All right. All right. That'll do it.
So let's get back on topic. So, Sai, why do you're in opposite, you're not agreeing with Dre. Why do you think, you think that men is the reason for the new trend of women that's coming
I don't think
around,
they're
the new
solely
modern
the
women?
reason, but I do think that they play a role in it. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes men have made it hard for like women to be like, I don't know, like soft and vulnerable. But then I also feel like women also took it and ran with it and want to keep being like gang and all of this. And it's just like, no, stop doing that. Like, stop it. I read this article and there was this rapper who recently broke up with his girlfriend. He was like she didn't talk feminine enough to me. Like, she kept calling me gang and saying all of that. And I thought it was funny because like, that's really like how like a lot of females are nowadays. But just speaking personally, I'm not as like soft and feminine as like a lot of women that I know.
You would say you got more masculine traits?
I don't think it's masculine traits. I think it's just like I built up a wall of protection for myself simply because of the things that I saw from the hands of a man, and not, more so to me, but like to people around me, and more specifically my mom. So I kind of told myself, like, at a younger age, like, I'm not going to allow myself to be vulnerable like this. I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to allow a man to be able to, you know, call the shots and stuff like that. And me developing that mindset at such a young age, I think it played a part in, like, the way that I am now, because I'm not so quick to let down, you know, my guard or just be all trusting and vulnerable with, you know, men. And that started from, you know, me seeing things from a man. I don't solely think that it's a man's fault, because, like, put a stop to it. Like, stop the cycle. Like, you don't have to be that way as a female, but I do think they play a role in it. And then I also agree with what Dre said. Like, we are living in a day and age where it's like that of the independent woman. Like, women aren't so accepting of the traditional female role. Stay here, cook, clean, take care of the kids. But no, women are business owners. Women are doing stuff for themselves. So they're producing and raising women like themselves. So it is drilled into our heads like a, don't ever, you know, allow no man to do this. You don't need no man for nothing. And then we take that, and I think it causes kind of like more harm than good, because it's like we get that whole, you know, we don't need no man. We don't need no man. Then it's like, what if you scaring away just like a good man, because you got this whole man mentality? Like, no, I got this. I don't need you. Listen, come get me. I'm sick of paying for this. Come get me. Wherever you at, come pick me the fuck up. Come get me.
So let me ask you a question though. How would you feel like if a strong man came in and said, you know, I do expect you to, this is a triggering word for a lot of women, submit to me.
Are you worth submitting to?
Let's say he is.
How so?
Say he got a good job. I mean, he's loyal. I mean, let's just say he checks all the boxes off as relationship wise. And, you know, he's just that strong person where he believes in a woman stays home, take care of the kids, cook, clean. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna protect, provide, and this is kind of like a role that I'm looking at. You know,
I don't think that always makes a woman submit. Like, if you pay attention, like as you explain this, right? Look at her body language. Ain't none of that moving her at all, right? Saying. So when you take like the average woman, I think when it comes to submission, when she says how or are you worth submitting to, I think it's relative. So it's really going to be solely based on that woman and that man. And I think a lot of times the wrong man is asking for submission from the wrong woman. And that's where we get the clashing of heads. And that's where we get the negative, again, connotation about around this whole submission thing, is just because it's two wrong people asking for the wrong things from each other. And thus you get the jacked up relationships, and then you get everything spilling over into the world.
Hold on now. What's wrong with what I just described?
And there's nothing wrong with it.
That's what I want to know. But she wasn't feeling it.
No, but again, what I just said was you just described something to the wrong woman. Those things are not things in which they're going to cause or want her to submit to you.
But they should be, though. So why didn't you
Again, it's relative. You said should be.
If I check off all the boxes.
But those are your boxes, not her boxes.
And then you telling, so me as a female, when I say, I don't mind taking care of the kid. First off, we gonna take care of these kids because we had these kids. Now, I don't mind assuming the, you know, more, I don't even want to use the word dominant.
Let's just say the nurturing role.
Yes, no problem. Clean, fine, no problem. But me, I don't want to be a sit-at-home wife or a sit-at-home mom. That's just me, as I don't want to do that, because I still have, and it may be something that I may need to get. I don't know if it's looked at as a pro or a con, but me, I'm never going to give you all of that. Like, I don't know the word that I'm looking for. If you up and leave me right now, I'm flat out on my ass. Because I'm a stay at home which if I'm staying at home, I'm not going to give you that much of an upper hand. I'm always going to make sure that I have something to fall back on. And that's just as, you know, as a woman, like as me, I'm never going to give you that much control and that much. Now, you may never abuse it. You may be here until we old, great, and kick the bucket together. But I'm always going to make sure that in the event that, shit, what if you lose your job? Then what? Then we both sitting here looking crazy because you want me to be a stay-at-home mom.
Well, my thing is this, and you're using an example as a lot of women.
Wait. But one of the things that you said was, you know, stay at home, I'll go out, I'll provide. I feel like if me and my husband, whatever, know that, okay, well, she's not a woman that wants to, sit at home. She has dreams, she has goals, she has whatever. And I'm blatantly like, well, no, forget all of that. I want you to stay at home. I don't want to submit to you because you're just telling me fuck what it is that I care about, what I want to do. You're not being considerate of me. And y'all know that's one of the biggest things that I need. So that was the main thing that I heard right there, which kind of like caused me, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. And especially if you know that and you also, well, I'm a man, it's my job to go out and provide this, that, and the third. You're going to stay home, cook, clean, take care of these kids. So just fuck me and what I want to do. Like, I got to stay at home and play the traditional wife role. Why do I want to submit to you when you're just flat out telling me, well, shit. And you said on a few podcasts before, men will show you red flags. Men will tell you everything you need to know. It may not be, here it is on a silver platter, but that right there is telling me like, oh, hold on, like it's my way or the highway type stuff.
I wouldn't say it's his way.
That's
I think
his way.
I think a lot of women fear that of if this happens, then I'm left out on my. I think that's a big fear in women, and that stops most women from being a traditional, even if they don't have the dreams of going to get it and stuff like that. That stops women saying, hold on now, I can't submit because if you cheat, then I'm stuck here.
But why do men even want? I understand the rest of this stuff. Let's solely focus on the whole staying at home. I'll do the working. Why do men even want that? Is it what is that?
I think that, to me personally, I think that women do, and I got to watch what I say, but it's just more of a natural role. It's more of you're going to be able to nurture things a lot better than we are.
But if I have a job, is that taken away from me being a nurturer?
It's going to take away from you being the ability to nurture our household.
How?
Like, okay, if we're both working and stuff like that, and let's just say, because the reality of it is this, the money that our dreams and stuff like that is going to be more than 40 and 50 hours. The dreams that most people talk about is going to be more than just 40 or 50 hours. And my personal thing, if you want to work a $40,000, $50,000 job, you do you. But I would see that being a stay-at-home wife, unless you're just fulfilled for what you do. So when we talk about working, I'm thinking that you're trying to strive to build something that's past 6 figures, correct?
Okay. Let's even say she just wants to do just something she enjoys. What if she likes to go and freaking work with kids or something like that, or work at a...
But I just think that the stay-at-home wife is such negative now. Why is that so negative? If we look at the strongest nations in the world, that family connection is there. And that's why they're so powerful, because of the dynamic of the house.
But I just feel like, why does it have to be, you have to stay at home and be a nurturer? Why am I not able to go out and pursue maybe a career that I want or a job that I want to do? Why is it that in order for me to still be a nurturer, I have to be at home 24/7 and I'm not able to go out, fulfill my purpose or whatever it is, and still come home, nurture my husband, nurture my kids? Do you guys as men, being that you go out and you work and your main role is supposed to be provider, are you not able to do both? Go out, work, and then come home, and you have a nurturing side to it. Maybe it's not as strong as a woman, but are you not able to do both? Go out, be the hardworking dad and husband, and then come home and just be dad and husband?
Yes, we can.
So why can't a woman do the same thing?
Me personally, I think that men can take on the world a lot better. And to me, I think from my household, I will want my wife to be a stay-at-home wife. I'm not making her do anything. I'm never going to tell Shamar, you have to stay home, you have to do this. But I know my wife will be less stressed, a heck of a lot better as a wife, a better mom, if she didn't have to deal with the nonsense that she got to deal with working a 9 to 5 and she's stressed out about it. If I can go and if I can provide to the point where she don't have to work and she can live a life that she wants to, there's the level of stress that you don't deal with doing something that you want to do opposed to doing something that you have to do.
So you don't think that a level of stress comes from, and I'm not a mom, but I have damn near all my friends are moms, being in a house with these kids all day, and you don't think that there's no level of stress from that, or women going into depression because of all they know is to take care of the kids and take care of the husband so much that they lose themselves because they're not out, pursuing what it is that they want to do, and they're home all the time because they have to be that nurturer that men want, or some men want. So that's also a stressful role as well. I feel like people take into consideration that even when you are, a stay-at-home mom or whatever, that's still a full-time job.
I agree it is. You don't think it's stressful that if somebody broke in our house, I got to go fight them off?
What?
I'm just using the example of the protector. So let's trade spots. Would you be cool with, only sleeping at the edge to the door? You hear a noise, I got to go grab my gun and go check it out. Let's trade those spots.
What the? I don't even know where that came from. But listen, I have a perfect example.
I'm just talking about that might have been bad. I'm just saying, as a provider and a protector, there's a level of stress that comes on us.
I'm not disagreeing with that. So I have an example, and I used to work with a family. The mom was a stay-at-home mom. She literally recently got a job and was talking to me because she had nothing to put on her resume because she hadn't had a job. 2 kids. The husband, he's the provider. He's the one that goes to work. He gets up at ass crack of dawn. He's going to work and he's coming home in the afternoon. She's at home with these kids all day, getting them up, getting them from school, feeding them, putting them in bed, blah, 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 blah. So she will often joke about, I ask him to trade me spots all the time and he tells me he would never do it. And she'll tell me like not even tell me, I was physically in her house to see how stressed she was. So I'm just like, I'm not opposed to, women that do choose that lifestyle. Everybody is different and everybody wants different things. But I think a lot of times like people just, stay at home and do this. You don't have to worry about the stress. No, that's a stressful ass situation too, I feel like. I've never had to do it, but
I don't have any kids, so I can't tell you how stressful it is if you was at home.
I do.
You think it's more?
Jay, do you get stressed sometimes?
I do.
What causes more? What's a more level of stress?
Well, to me, it's what's out in the world than my kids. But I also do think that it's just a difference with my children, though. So with my kids and like their moms, like, and I think it's not like this because I'm not with their moms. I think it's like this. I see this in households in which both parents are present. Kids react differently to mom and dad a lot of times. So a lot of their stressors and things that they go through, I really don't have to deal with at all. Like mines may come from like every now and then, I do mean every now and then, maybe being overwhelmed with the craziness because I'm letting outside kind of affect some things going on. Their stressors are way different than mine because typically if I say a certain thing or do something, they jump and they do it and it's already done. They don't have to deal with that. Or they deal with something differently. Like if they got to repeat themselves several times or, it's different things. But yes, I do encounter stressful situations in which it's like, all right, cool. Today is just one of those days. I don't have a lot of them, but today is definitely one of those days where you see a lot of moms, they may have a lot more of those days. And because women are emotional and because you figure if you have a mom who has a child, and if there's a toddler and just had another kid, now they're dealing with postpartum or several other factors come in there. Those are things that we don't have to deal with as men. And I think we get lost a lot of times in the comparison of this is what women deal with and this is what men deal with. I think we can all kind of come to the table and agree like, yeah, your stressors are over here and we're not going to diminish those. But ours is over here as well. Let's not diminish those because you hear it all the time. Well, all you got to do is go out there and do X, Y, and Z. Well, that's stressful as hell too. It is. So when you combine the both, that's when. So when you'll hear a guy say, I'll trade. So when you're talking about parenting as a single, you deal with both sides of it. If you're active in your children's lives, you're going to deal with both sides of that. You're going to deal with the stressors of being with your kids and then also going to work and having to deal with that. And also I want to point out this too, like a lot of times protecting and providing is also relative, right? So it's not like we hear it so much, a man's role and job is to protect and provide. All right, well, cool. But in my situation, my protecting and providing is definitely going to look different than this guy over here. So a lot of times we try to make it like it's this blanket thing and what we're protecting and providing ain't even suiting the woman that we with.
Yeah.
So that's the argument. I gave her everything. I protected her. I provided. That's because you so harped on that. And I always say it. If you master someone's need, you become irreplaceable. I firmly believe that. I've dropped the ball on that in that category before. People have dropped the ball with me in that category before. In maturing and realizing that if you master someone's needs, you become irreplaceable. I mean, heck, you want to learn how to get somebody to submit to you, master that woman's needs. And if she reciprocates that, then she'll forever have someone loyal.
Yeah, I agree with that, because even saying now, sitting there thinking while you're speaking, my providing also is being there for the kids. I'm not the type of person who's going to say, hey, you have the kids 24/7. When I get off of work, I love kids. I will come home and take the burden off of you, you know what I'm saying, and do that type of stuff. My mindset, I just believe that it was a time and day where the family was at its strongest and we thrived as people. And unfortunately, that did look at as a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home wife. Granted, I'm not diminishing that women do have goals and dreams and can get out there and get it. I'm not saying all that, do you. But we are at a place where marriage is coming to. Marriage is almost. Have y'all seen how many people are getting divorces these days?
At this point, it's like a joke.
It is a joke. You got Tom Brady getting a divorce.
Tia
Long and them
husband.
getting a divorce. Tia's getting a divorce.
Yeah.
What was the pastor and Megan Good and them guys? Like, all these people are getting divorced. Like, so now we're at a day and age where marriage is a joke.
But can we also have to highlight this though? We can look back sometime, or some of us could look back and say that we lived in a time where families were thriving because they were stay-at-home moms. We have to take into account that a lot of women couldn't work legally anyways, so they couldn't get good paying jobs, and it was just one of the social norms.
I ain't talking about that far back.
Well, no, listen, we're talking about 1940s, 50s, and 60s.
I'm talking about my grandma.
That ain't a lot. My mom was born in 1962, so that's not a long. She only 59. She's 60 years old. So I mean, we think that it was an extremely long time ago, when really it was not that long ago. Like women were still stay-at-home moms in 1960s and 70s. And then slowly but surely, as women's rights and all that start coming to it, then we get the blooming independent woman or entrepreneur women are now working. They're becoming CEOs. They're doing all these things. So I don't know. And you look at thriving families, you're going to hear the argument that, yeah, it may have looked like a thriving family, but Pop had a family across town, and Pop was sleeping with X, Y, and Z while Grandma was doing. So is that really your idea of a thriving family?
I ain't talking about Pop was a Rolling Stone.
But no, but we are though, because if we're talking about the family dynamic, and we're talking 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s,
more enough
80s,
on the
like
70s and
70s and 80s, still same thing. Pop was
talking
rolling
about
that stone. I mean,
I'm more than talking about when drugs came in and all that different stuff and pulled the black man out of the household, and then things separated.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that women had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the father wasn't there, they had to get to it. That's why, to go back to the beginning of the argument, I do think that men, we do play a role in why women had to get to it. And maybe us, or maybe, the situation that
then we can use the argument to say that men had assistance in that with the government. Because how many times were mom and dad unable to find work? So you go down for government assistance and they ask you, okay, so you got a man in the house? Well, you ain't getting no money and you ain't getting no assistance with a man in the house.
Well, yeah.
So then Pop got to move out so that his family could eat, because he couldn't find work.
That was a situation too. And
so what is a woman going to choose in that?
A lot of the situations, let's not say all the men, because I agree with you there, but women were put into a situation where they had to step up. And I think that generation poured down into, don't go get a man, do it on your own, or hey, government assistance, you don't need a man, because if a man ain't there, you can get more government assistance. So I do think that a lot of women was put in that situation. The generations came up, and now we're at a place now where it's like the alpha woman, the masculine woman is now, I don't need no man, I don't need none of this stuff, I can do everything on my own. And you know what? I give a woman a lot of credit nowadays. There is a lot of, female CEOs and stuff that is doing great for themselves. But with that all being said, there's a lot of rich women that's dying single.
Yeah.
There's a lot of families that's growing up without a man in the household, or kids being raised by women and all this different stuff. So there's a situation that, like you just said in the beginning on your argument, a lot of things play a role in why we are at the days and the times that we are in. So I don't know the solution. So
These women just need to get some act right.
Excuse you?
I agree.
Who said it was a problem for it to need a solution?
We do need a solution. Have you seen the statistics?
You don't think it's a problem?
You don't think it's
at
a
all?
problem out here?
Because
What is the
listen,
problem?
there's nothing. Okay, so imagine this. Let's get this scenario. Imagine a woman who claims that she's ready for marriage and she wants to settle down, but she has that mentality, I can do it all on my own. So her thinking that she's ready, and then a man comes along who fits the bill, but she's not ready to drop.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have that mentality, then you're not ready, because what is the point of a person coming along if you feel like you can do it on your own? What are you seeking out a person for? What do you need this person for? So if you have that mentality, you're not ready. Mm-hmm. If that's you still, well, yeah, I can, and I may be able to do it by myself. I don't want to have to do it by myself. That's the difference. Can you? Yes, you can. I don't want to anymore. With me, yes, I can take care of my bills, do all of this because I've been having to do it. Do I want to anymore? No. And it even goes outside of like the financial thing, the companionship that sometimes I'll have long days at work and it pisses me off going home by myself. And that's just me being human and being a woman. Yeah. But if you still are, whether it's a male or a female, with that whole like mentality of I can do this all by myself, why are you seeking out a person if you can do it all? What do you need that person for if you're doing everything by yourself and you're not ready to let go of that mentality? What am I here for?
Let me tell you something. I don't believe that anybody can do it all by themselves. I think that women need men as much as men need women. And let's think of it on this point. I don't think a woman can raise a son by herself properly without the need of some type of man. I'm not saying a dad, but some type of male figure needs to be present. The same way it's going to be hard for a man to just solely raise a female. Mm-hmm. So I do think that we to now go and have this mindset of I can do it all by myself. Now there's kids being raised by single parents, and we already see where the world is going with all that. And so I think that there is a problem that needs to be solved. And that's the question, is how do we solve it?
I don't think there's just one answer that can
I don't
be
think
given.
that there's one answer.
There's a lot that goes into it. We have to really change like the mentality and our approach that we take to things. Number one, our outlook, what we consume, because a lot of that plays a part in how we end up parenting, how we go into relationships, lending our ear to the wrong voice a lot of times, seeking therapy. Because if you're traumatized as a child, then we should definitely take steps to, like, if you're in an abusive household as a child, I think that, thankfully now, especially like Black people, we're now more open to therapy. Yeah. So I think it's our responsibility that once we're at least away from that situation, that we get our kids into therapy to try to start working out some of those things that they've taken in, so that they don't grow up thinking that a lot of that stuff is normal, and so that they don't mistreat, abuse, and do the same things so that cycle is broken. And seek help. I think once you know better, you do better. So don't blame. Once we get to a certain age, we cannot blame your past on everything, because you know better now. So there's no reason why you should still be doing or saying some of the things that you did before. Like, you know better. We grown. Like, fix it. Just do something about it, rather than just staying there and just sitting in it and playing victim. Because at some point you do become a person who plays victim a lot to everything, and you want to blame everything and everyone else rather than just yourself, and not going out to do the work and fixing yourself. You can't just want it and say you want it. Like, lip service is trash nowadays. Like, around a person like me, you can talk. You only get a couple times to really talk a certain way with me, and then after that, I'm really not even listening to you no more, because you have the power to fix and change, like, yourself. Yeah. And if you need help, you have the power to get the help that you need. Like, there's way too many resources out here for us to still be doing and saying the same stuff that we've said a year ago, 2 years ago, and still blaming the same people, the same situations. It's just my opinion.
No, that's good, honestly. Sometimes I be losing thought. I be so deep in listening to what y'all saying, I don't even know where to go.
So I don't be talking about nothing.
I went to church.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Sile. What does a man, they was talking about submission and stuff like that. What does that man look like to you? Somebody that's worth saying, you know what, you're a good man, I'm willing to listen to what you say and let you lead.
Well, I really want and I know we joke all the time about like church and stuff on here, but my next relationship, I really want like us both to have like a relationship with God and like a relationship to like, I want to go to church together. Like I want to pray together. I want to do stuff like that. So definitely that. I think
that's the foundation.
Yes. And I'm not saying we got to be like, evangelist, like none of that. But I definitely want us to have like I want God to be a part of our relationship. I definitely need us to be considerate of each other. I say it all the time because if you really think about it, like it plays into everything down to the small. Are you considering me when you're going to get food? Like, are you considering me when you say these things or do these things? Like, please consider me as much as me considering you. I think time too. A lot of people will, I'm busy. I can't. There is nobody I don't believe in anybody, and that's going outside of a relationship. You're not too busy. You make time for who and what it is you want to. And my dad like has me this way because my dad lives in Detroit. I live here. This man would literally, what you got to do today? Nothing. All right, I'm coming down there to take you to get something to eat. Literally would drive down here 3.5 hours just to take me to get food and go home.
What do you do for a living?
A man job. Like he's a regular working man.
It's Tommy.
No, he's not Tommy. Don't call my dad Tommy.
I need to know the type of
like
job.
It's like a man job.
I need to know the type of job where he can drop what he's doing.
Tommy from Martin.
3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Yes, and he's done it multiple. He's not Tommy, guys. He's done it multiple times. Shut up, I'm talking.
But he always get money.
Oh my God. But yeah, like nobody can tell me that they're too. You're not. No, you're not. Like you make time for what you want to and who you want to. So I need your time because time, like. That plays a lot of communication. We need to communicate. Like, I don't care what it is, we need to communicate. And this is definitely something that I can't wait to kind of put to the test because I feel like I kind of like got a little bit better with my communication, but I don't know for sure yet because I haven't been tested on it.
I'm glad you're that kind of person.
What?
I'm so glad that you are. Because a lot of people say I'm changed and I'm different, but they've never had the test to actually prove that they've changed and that they're different. So I'm glad that you're actually mature enough at the tender age of 28 to admit that, because a lot of people out here would never admit that out loud.
Well, yeah, because it's like you can say this until, like you said, like until the situation arises. It's like, here you go, being batshit crazy. Cause like, bitch, you told me you changed. Mm-hmm. But no, like honestly, like I really can't wait to like see like, okay, Sile, these are some things we've been working on. Action, go. Like, what are you gonna do? But I definitely want communication.
I place communication high.
Yes, to be a part of our like relation. And then it's like, what?
He says number one. I says a strong second.
Dre's is probably sex.
Communication is one for me.
He just says one. I'm gonna say
he's the one that said it was second. It's second for him.
What's 2 for you, Dre?
Sex.
Communication is definitely key.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Most of the arguments you're gonna get in is just over communication.
Yes, over communication. Like it's not even that big. It's probably not even that serious either.
Let me ask you this. So what does submission even look like to you?
For me to like assume my like feminine role, like me to not feel like I always have to like to fix something. I don't want to feel like I have to fix you. I don't want to feel like I have to fix it. I want you to be able to, babe, sit back, I got this. And me not
tell her really what it means.
Feel like he said to me. I guess stepping in and letting my man lead, but even then, like, what does that even mean? I've never had to submit to a person before.
Let me ask you this: if your husband, he told you like, "Hey, we about to make this move," and you didn't understand it, would you trust and let that man lead?
Does the move make sense?
Sometimes it don't.
Make the move for us.
We about to make a move, and it might not make sense to you.
Is he a logical individual?
This is your husband. Is he a logical individual?
Well, if he's my husband, I feel like he is.
Okay, then.
then yeah, I'm gonna let him do what he gonna do. I might talk a little shit, but I'm a,
It's cool, but all in all,
I'm gonna let him do what he gonna do.
Go ahead.
Yes,
That's what
You would trust
yes.
in him, because a lot of times when it comes to submission, a lot of times I think what we should be asking, what women should ask men sometimes is, when it comes to submission, the vision that you have what is the vision that you have for yourself, and are you submitted to that? If he's not even submitted to his vision, then there ain't no way that you as a woman are going to be submitted to him. Because the moment that you guys become one, now there has to be a vision for the family. And sometimes outside of what you guys have together, he's going to have something where he sees vision, but you ain't going to have a clue. And you could be like, no, all I see is right now. And right now, this is the situation we at. I don't care what you got, but you got to have that trust. But what happens when vision has no sight? And if vision has no sight, then y'all all blindly walking around.
That's why I asked, like, is going back, are you a person like worth submitting to? Because even then, like what you said, like something like that, if you have a vision and you're not even submitted to that, how do you want me to submit to you if you're not even submissive to what it is that you so believe in? So like, are you even a person worth submitting to? Like, what does that even look like?
And that's why a lot of times I'm super duper big on, you have to know before you make this decision, you have to know that this is the right person. You have to recognize the red flag. Like Dre just said, like, are you with a person that don't even have a vision for himself? Why would you? A lot of times it is hard to submit to this trash. And then no, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Because a lot of dudes is trash out here. And then what happens is you in this relationship and then wondering why she won't submit to you when you got to submit to something. Whether that's God or whatever it is, you need to have a vision for yourself that aligns with the vision of your house, that aligns with the vision of your kids, and all of this stuff is moving in the same direction. Like the video you sent the one time, dude talking about, I don't know my goals. What the, if you don't know your goals, but you want her to follow you,
Yeah, like
makes no sense.
everybody's not supposed to or worth being submitted to.
No. So I do wholeheartedly believe in, like, you have to pay attention to everything. You really need to take the time to like seek out and understand who this person is.
Hell, give me something to submit to. I don't got no goals for myself.
And I hope that
Next.
you understand who you are too. I
Yes.
loathe the fact of when I hear
What is that word, man?
hate. It means hate.
It sounds so close to love.
Yeah, loathe and love. But I can't stand
Well,
when
I heard that
hear,
word before and it confused me.
when I hear that where was I going?
That a woman
That they need to know
something
them.
very
They
interrupted.
need to know
Yes.
them.
When we hear strongly things about like men coming at them crazy, right? But like women don't know who they are. So it's kind of like, because a lot of women want to go to the whole, when they ask the question, you out here, you find a man, or a man supposed to be finding me. The Bible say when a man finding a wife, he finding a good thing. Well, are you a good thing
Exactly.
for me to even find? Number one, it says when a man findeth a wife. So when I find you, that means you have the qualities of
A wife.
That means you may even be, even though you're not a wife yet, that means that you are in fact what I just found. Are you that? Can you be honest with yourself and say that you're actually a wife? Can you? So before we even get to submission, can we even get to the point? Because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know like what you like, if you ain't happy with yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't, I can go down a whole list. Ain't no way you gonna be submitting to this man. It don't matter if he got a vision. It don't matter how great he is or how bad he is. You ain't gonna submit, and it's gonna be a terrible relationship because you don't know who you are. Period. And I think everybody should be finding their purpose. And I think if everybody is operating in their purpose when they find someone else, things go a lot smoother. Or at least if they're actively pursuing it. If you're not active in it, at least actively pursuing it in search of it, and definitely finding out who you are. I think that's one of the biggest things. Know who you are before you try to get to know somebody else.
I think that's ideal too, because going back to what we was talking about beforehand, you know that you know that you have goals, you know that you have dreams and aspirations of being something. Then it would be better for you to choose maybe not a man making as much money, or not a man, like, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might not be the smartest thing to go and be attracted to this super duper high elite entrepreneur that's on the road maybe, a couple weeks out of the month. Because then it's like, how can you focus on your dreams and goals and be a supportive wife to this individual? So it might make sense for you to find a man that's not as busy or have more time on his hands, because you know you first, so that you have to fit him to submit to the idea. So that does make a lot of sense of knowing yourself, so that you, when you do find the right person that aligns with the beliefs that you have and where you're trying to go with, so that y'all can align to be the best couple as y'all can. Mm-hmm. Should fit like a glove, really. A relationship should not be difficult. And that's why I really, laugh at people that's like, why are y'all still together? Like, a relationship should not be as hard as people make it to be. When you there's no perfect equation of finding the perfect person by all means. But if you know yourself, know where you want to go, and you meet a person and then y'all align with each other, it's like, okay, I believe in this. You believe in this. I want to go in this direction. You want to go in this direction. It should really fit like a glove. Not saying that you ain't going to face no rocky days and rocky times, but it shouldn't be. Y'all been married or together for 4 years and 3 of those years been hell. It shouldn't be like that. But I say all that to say, know yourself, know where you want to go, and find somebody that fits the beliefs. And like you were saying, like being a Christian and stuff like that, y'all both got the same beliefs. That should be easy for y'all to move in a certain direction, opposed to you a Christian and he's a Muslim or a Buddhist or something like that, and y'all moving in 2 different areas and stuff. Y'all believe in 2 different things. You believe in monogamy. He believes in polygamy. And y'all wonder why y'all going back and forth all day.
You can convert.
Oh God.
You never know. I mean,
you're sick.
I'm just saying. I mean, you can convert.
Yeah.
Because you can end up in a relationship with somebody and find out, you know what, I actually like the lifestyle that he or she lives.
Hey, let me tell you something. I listened to Brother Polite, I think his name was, and he actually
Polite.
He pitched it. And I mean, listen, I don't know if I can do it because I have a hard time with just my one wife, keeping her happy. And we just talked about this stuff. We ain't even gonna go down that road again. But what I'm saying is, the way he explained it, I mean, it don't sound that bad.
Well, Sile said she would be down.
I couldn't do it.
For polygamy before.
Trey, please. No, I didn't. Nick, imagine you having to break off more than one woman.
No, I couldn't do it.
What? Somebody
gonna get the bad end of the stick. It's gonna be one of them wives. Because what do they refer to each other as? Like, are they sisters or
sister wives?
They're not. I mean, I think that was a made up joint. I mean,
so I mean, like, you gonna have to go tell y'all gonna have to trade or something.
Yeah, go tell your sister wife that.
What are they called? That's her girlfriend.
Wife 1, wife 2.
Yeah, go tell wife.
Just go tell so and so.
That's her girlfriend.
Yeah.
I
think we think too much. Yeah, you can't break them off. Well, tag me in. I got your back.
Well, I can't tag you in, my wife.
Not your main wife. Second or third.
Yeah, well, they all gonna be main if we in polygamous relationship. I can't watch nobody going double overtime on my wife. Because now she might not come back. But this has been a good conversation. I
think we need to have a conversation about submission on a larger scale.
And I would love to hear more
men and more women on this subject, married and single, different backgrounds, because it is an interesting conversation to see how it works, because
it does look different between everybody else.
It does.
That definition is different.
And honestly, if media wouldn't paint the picture of it being so negative, I think we would see more people that it actually works perfect for. But we only see the negative crap that.
You want to hear a funny story? It just made me think about this. When me and my wife was first having our marriage, our premarital counseling, one of our first lessons was talking about submission. Mm-hmm. Shamara left there like, forget that. I ain't doing that. Yada yada yada. Because the way, if you really look at the way the biblical form, it does kind of look like a slave. And our people that was doing, our pastors that was doing our premarital counseling, really had to break it down and what does that look like. And she came, slowly but surely, she came around to the idea, but she was fully against it. She had a notebook full of notes and stuff that she can't wait to come back and talk about next week. But it looks different to everybody. And a lot of that stuff, I ask you those questions because when you get married, like it's going to test that submission. Like when it don't make sense, are you still willing to sit there? Because one thing I have to give my wife a lot of credit and shout her out. She's let me lead. She's let me fail, but she's let me be a husband. I don't make the best decisions all the time, but she never stripped me from me being the head of the household by saying, nah, that don't make sense. Nah, we ain't going to do that. When I fail, you know? It's my job to bounce back, recognize where I made my mistakes so that we can keep pushing. Not perfect. No man is perfect. But you gotta let that man lead, whatever it looks like. And if you don't trust that he can lead, then you got to deal with that in the beginning. You should have dealt with that in the beginning. Mm-hmm. If he's incompetent to lead, then that should have been a conversation before y'all got married. I don't think that don't get married with this man, then strip him down like, oh well, you know you're stupid. He been stupid. That man been stupid. I make the money. You know he been broke. Don't strip him down now because you married a broke, stupid guy.
Oh, well, you know you're stupid.
Yeah, you know you're stupid. I can't let you lead. That man been stupid.
Belittling the man.
Yeah, don't belittle him, man. Just go find somebody. I think this was a good conversation. We're going to have a part 2 with a bigger group.
Yeah.
And we're going to, touch on this submission a little deeper. So that's a good topic.
It is. If y'all got any questions, insight, hit us up. Let us know. Hey, and please go and subscribe to the podcast on all platforms. Got to say this on the live show here. Well, we ain't live, but subscribe to the channel, YouTube channel. Subscribe on whatever you're listening to, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts. Did I say Apple already?
No.
Either way, yeah, them jokers. Oh, them jokers at Apple. No, Spotify. We don't like Apple like that, but
we do
for iPhone users, whatever. But see, you need to submit to the Android users.
Oh, please.
That's a red flag. If your man comes in,
red flag.
That's a red flag.
You need to submit. God dang it.
Red flag.
I don't know if I can trust a girl to pull out an iPhone.
You're right.
No,
you dang on right.
That means she's sneaky. Y'all got too many little gadgets and stuff to hide in there. I got about 3 calculators.
That's all on y'all with y'all secret screens.
I never had a secret screen.
Yeah, I bet you haven't. I bet she has.
I got one right now.
See?
You got a secret screen? What is that?
It's not a secret screen. It's just a privacy screen.
Oh,
no,
that's
not the
different.
privacy joint. We're talking about the alternate home screen joint.
Oh, no, I don't have that. I thought you was talking about
I never heard of
screen.
an alternate home screen.
You making stuff
We're going to talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
What? Take us out of here.
No, I just want to know in case I got to go through my wife's phone.
Please.
Yeah, y'all got any takeaways?
No.
Nope.
Sayo loves polygamy.
No, Sayo does not.
Play
Stop
the moments,
lying.
pause the memories, stop the pain, keep the happiness on repeat.
Bastard.
Peace.
Bye. What's up?
BVU fam, we just wanted to take the time to thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered.
Because we love y'all.
And we miss y'all too.
Thank you for your support.
And we want you to take time out of your busy day and go check out our TikTok, our Instagram, and our Facebook. And for those of you who are not listening or watching on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe.
And we also got, listener letters. So if you guys ever have a question that you want us to address, if you ever just want to write in and say, you know what, Nick, your hair is always on point, or Big Mama is so funny, or Special K is so crazy, or that Dre always getting at the
Who
women.
is Special K?
Special K is crazy. But you can write us at info@blendedviewsunfiltered.com. That is info@blendedviewsunfiltered.com.
And always remember,
Play the moments.
Pause the memories.
Stop the page.
and keep the happiness on repeat. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.